Good evening, everyone. This is Yatharth Sharma, and this is the first episode of the podcast, The Fluent Stutter. And we have with us, it is a privilege to welcome our inaugural guest, Jay Vasdewani. And he's from Ahmedabad, and he has done his master's in computer engineering from University of Minnesota, and currently he runs multiple startups and companies. Uh, he is the founder and CEO of Latitude Technolabs, founder and CEO of Mitra Ecom, director of engineering at Blackjack Production. And I recently discovered that in a report conducted by Asian News International, Jay, Jay Sir has been ranked among the top 10 most influential entrepreneurs of 2024. Welcome, Jay Sir. How how are you? And yeah, tell me more about your companies and your stammering journey.
Yeah, thank you, Yatharth, for inviting me to this podcast. It's real privilege to be here and TISA's first ever podcast. I hope it will be worthwhile for everybody. So yeah, you asked me. Yeah, sorry, what was your question?
Yeah, if you can just give give a little brief about what your companies are about, and what about your stammering journey. How is your relationship right now with your stammering, and how it changed over time?
Okay. Yeah. So my main company is Latitude Technolabs Private Limited. It is an IT solutions service providing company. We provide services like custom web development and custom mobile applications, digital marketing, etc. We we have worked with over 50 startups in the last 10 years. So that's why you see me involved in a lot of startups. Those startups actually start the tech the technology was built by us, and in that process I became, in some of them I became founder. So that's why you see a big list on my LinkedIn. And I mean, I I I always been uh, looking for ideas, starting startups. That's how it has been. But my main focus has always been on Latitude Technolabs to build that company uh, further. More or less, we have a very big goal of going public in 2 years. So
Great.
yeah, that's what we are working on. And you asked me my stammering journey, and that is, I don't know where to start. So let's start from childhood.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Okay. So basically, my parents tell me that I started stuttering when I was 5 years old. Before that, they told me I was very fluent, but I was suddenly this started and they had no idea what to do. I mean, back then nobody knew in India, at
That
least.
is true.
Yeah. So and then because of that, I mean, I was not very active in discussions in school and like all the different competitions, but I was a brilliant student. So because of that, all the teachers really liked me. I was because I was always in top two. But my
Is it? Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah. There was a break. There was a break in voice. Was it for me, or was it for everyone else
I
too?
think it might be my internet. I
Okay,
can.
okay.
Yeah. So basically, I was very. I was a brilliant student, and besides studies, I was also good in sports, especially cricket, and because that's where my leadership journey started. Because I was always leading the team, or every team I played, I was the leader, and that's where it started. And because of cricket, I actually learned a lot of life lessons. Like my most important lessons I always have taken from sports is that you, even if you get out on zero today, you have another game. You can play well, you can win, you can lose, you can win. So that positive attitude has been part of my life, and I would say that that has helped me. I mean, you as a stammerer, you can really have a bad day, right? Very bad.
Definitely,
But then I
definitely.
always tell me, okay, fine, it is done. Let's get learn from the mistake and let's get better.
Exactly. I mean, it's a bad day, not a bad life,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like I would also say that in this situation, our story is a little same. Like I was also into sports a lot in my school days, and I think for me also, sports gave me a voice, the confidence to show something on the big stage, and it gave me voice too in my school days. Yeah, so yeah, and like you told about the leadership and how sports really teaches you in different walks of life how to how to handle pressure and how to handle defeats and how to stay calm in difficult situation. So that is very inspiring for all of us.
Thank you. Yeah.
uh, so like okay, so you were saying that this is where the leadership and the managing skills came to you from sports, right?
Yeah, that's true. If I
That's
look
great.
back, yeah, that's true.
That's great. And also, like you mentioned that you were a brilliant student. So, like during school days and all, so did you like participate in various like Olympiads and quizzes and raised your hand to answer questions in class class? Because as a stammerer, this thing we don't generally do. We skip that part in classes and assemblies. So what was your experience in those things?
So, like until 10th standard, I don't, I mean, the school that I was in, they didn't have a lot of extra uh, cu- curricular activities. They had some here and there, but if it was anything related to speech, I never took part, to be honest with you. I was a shy and introvert, but at the same time, I had a lot of good friends. They are still friends. So I mean, when like I was scared to speak in a bigger settings, but with friends, 5, 6 people, I was fine.
All right, all right.
And like my uh, basically uh, in like in school, like in 11th and 12th, when I went to one of the top schools in my city. I'm from Rajkot. It's a smaller town. Like when I was studying, there were only 4 English medium schools. Now there is school at every street, but there were only 4 schools back then, and I was in like 11th. Like after 10th, my school did not have science
Oh,
faculty for 11th and 12th, so I had to switch the school, and
okay.
I was scared like there will be new people. I mean, I don't know them, and but fortunately, one more person. His name he has been with me since first standard. We have been together until finished BE. So he also was in merit list. So we both were in that uh, school. There was a new school for us, but he was very outgoing person, extra. He took part in a lot of quizzes and all those things. So he was extraordinary in that sense. I was
So
exactly.
like so like you both are, like, to be honest, balanced each
Yeah,
other.
yeah,
Like a yin and yang
yeah,
situation.
exactly. So he was the one who would take part. I was more into sports. So
That's great. That's great to hear.
yeah.
Like I also have a friend like that. He has been with me since first standard, and we still are fast friends. And yeah, the comfort zone with these kind of people is really great, in which you can
Yeah.
share, and you can be yourself at any point of time with
But
them.
same thing happened with me after 12th. uh, like my class of 12th is still, if you look at the history of our school, best class ever.
Okay.
Uh, I was like in the school merit list. I think, if I remember, around 14th or 15th in the number. Before me, all of them went for MBBS doctors. They all are doctors now. So you can imagine how brilliant our class was. And then the friend that I was talking about, his name is Abhishek. He and myself, we both went to uh, same engineering college. He also got it on a free seat. I also got on a free seat. So we again were roommates in
Oh,
college.
wow. That's great. So,
Yeah.
like, talking about your college life, how did the tech for computer science and like everything happen to you? That because in those time, computer science and all wasn't like it was a niche subject, and so how did that field come to you, and like what all things you took part in your college days? Did you did like did you try to control your stammering, or did your stammering control you at that time also? So tell me about those days a little.
So during my college days, I mean, the college that I was in, it was a newer college. It was in the, like, third or fourth year. They didn't have hostels, and I actually have done my BE in electronics and
Ah,
communications, not in computer science.
yeah,
Uh, yeah, and
sorry
even
about that.
yeah, and even back then it was like, I would say it wasn't a very old field. It was still a new field, and my batch was the third batch in that
Oh,
particular particular college. And now that college has become a university, and it is one top universities of India. But back then it was new, and like for me, like my college was in Ahmedabad. I was from Rajkot. This was the first time ever I went out of my city without my parents supporting me. So it was I would say it was the best thing that could have happened to me. Yeah.
definitely.
And that's where a lot of learning started. I started to manage things on my own. I had a lot of good roommates. We really had fun. In college, we actually were backbenchers. No, I was not. And we those 4 years were memorable 4 years. when during when we studied hard. When we played hard. So it was the best 4 years. And that, like, the stammering did, I mean, due to stammering, I was not participating in a lot of, even if I knew the answer, I wouldn't be able to tell in, like, ours was a 70 plus classroom. So speaking in front of 70 plus people was not something I had ever done. I still
Definitely.
I still have that fear, but now it is better. But those days, no way. Don't ask me. And even
I can understand.
Vivas, I hated Vivas. So
True, true. Like it's the same for me too, and I mean, I'm sure there are others too who can relate to it. Matlab, we would not study so that we can say that we haven't studied for the viva, but deep down we haven't studied because if we even studied, there won't be anything different because we won't be able to speak. So so
Yeah.
we have
We
we
always
have
try to
always
find excuses. Yes.
exactly
Uh,
exactly to do anything that we don't blame it on a stammering, but actually it was a stammering that was holding some of it,
yes.
some of us back. And
Mm.
talking about that, you are a backbencher, so it is actually, so you have proved that the front benches gets job and the backbenchers give jobs. You are the living example right
Yeah.
now in front of us.
Yeah.
That's great. That's great. That's great to hear. So like after the your bachelor's, you went to University of Minnesota in United States. So how did that step happen, and what made you take that courageous leap from India to US, 1,000 miles away? So how did that happen, and how did that pan out for you?
So back then, for electronics and communication student, there wasn't much in India. I mean, after I graduated, we had Reliance, Tata, telecoms started after our graduation. But before that, there was not many opportunities. So almost everybody in my class, like out of 70 people, I would say 50 of them were preparing for US. So I was just following the trend there. And actually, I did want to, I mean, from the that from 11th, 12th standard only, I had like my friend Abhishek, his brother was already in US. There was one more roommate in that his brother was also already in US. So that's where used to hear a lot about how how like how I mean, how is like US has a best education system, all those things. So that's what attracted me because for me, education was the only way to move forward at that time. And
True,
we
true.
started to prepare in, I think, sixth semester onwards. We were doing a lot of preparation with GRE and TOEFL. Again, uh, I was lucky back then. There was no speaking for TOEFL. Nowadays, there is like PTE and all those things have a speaking uh, requirement as well. So I was lucky in that regard, and uh, I actually my GRE score was, I would say, not good, not bad, but it was enough.
Hmm.
And fortunately, I applied to several universities. I applied to this particular university, University of Minnesota, which was in top 10 public university in
Oh,
USA. And I had no hopes like that I will get the admission. But somehow I was the only person in my class that got admission in that
oh,
university.
oh.
So I guess that must be in my destiny to go there.
Definitely.
Even people with higher scores, they didn't get it. In that
Like, I mean, during our placement in colleges, it was said that you will be placed in that company you least expect.
yeah, yeah,
When
yeah.
you have lost all the hopes, then you will be placed. So I
Exactly,
think
exactly, yeah. You
so
never
that's
know. You never know, but you should not stop trying.
exactly
Yeah.
true. So talking about your first company, like how you started your first company, and like as a stammerer. you would have to face a lot of people in front of you who you want them to trust you, and be and you have to portray a confident self in front of people from the very beginning of to from the very beginning when you start a company. So did you think about all of this, and how did you manage that, like in those times, because it was all new for you too. So tell me about that experience.
Yeah. So before that, uh, going to US was, I would say, the turning point of my life, because being 10 like thousands of miles away, there's no, we didn't have any relatives. Most people have relatives, but we didn't have any relatives. I went there on faith. So, and being stammerer, it was not easy to go alone. I mean, even like you are scared to talk to air hostess about like you want to drink something, or I don't know. It's what was not that easy. And then when I did masters, uh, uh, I mean, I that's where I started. Like I guess there was one venture I started. I wouldn't call a venture, but like I saw that the books in USA are very expensive. They were selling it like $60, $70 a book. Same book in India was 500 rupees. So I started a venture. I used to sell. I used to tell them that I can get the books there for them in India. So, so that's a lot of ideas going, and exactly at that moment, Amazon had launched. They were selling books.
I think these are these are the Gujarati genes that happen in US.
Mine is Gujarati plus Hindi, so very deadly combination.
Definitely true. Okay, so yeah, please
So,
continue.
I mean, must like also in USA, the first time ever I found other people who used to stammer. Before then, I don't remember if I actually knew anybody. So I always thought that I'm alone. But in USA, I found in our university that there was a self-help group back then, and it was in 2002, I guess. So that's where I mean, it was every week they used to meet, apply their techniques, and sometimes play games or even go out and talk to strangers. So that's slowly, that's where my fear of talking to strangers had gone down. And by that time, like in third, fourth year, I had joined a network marketing company to make extra money. But and that's when like I mean, that's what forced me to talk a lot of strangers. I didn't, I mean, I don't, I didn't do much in, but those few months that I spoke to a lot of strangers over phone, or read books that they recommended, that actually changed my mindset about stammering, that I can do it. I mean, people actually they don't care. I mean, that you are stammering. It's in your mind,
Definitely.
right? So that's where I I started to get that self confidence, and to talk to strangers and all those things. Then that really helped. And then for 3 years I worked in uh, uh, in university itself as a research fellow. I even have a 2 3 papers in my name, like research papers in my
Nice.
name. And like even then also, during the meetings, I was the person who will speak last, but they didn't care. I mean, I don't know, they didn't care. But again, I was still not opening up to bigger room. So, and then in between, I got married in 2005. Even like my wife's mama, when he met me, he saw I'm a stammerer. So he told even her father that you can't marry him. So, but she saw something in me. I don't know, but we got married, and she came with me to US, and she's also in from computer background, MCA,
Okay.
but now she's more into teaching field. And in 2007 we came back because my mother was not doing well, and I came back, and in around for 6 months I was working with my dad on his business, 6 months to 1 year, and after 1 year I saw opportunity to do some IT consulting, basically doing things online. And I saw opportunity, and that's when I started my own company with 1 or 2 employees. And then I saw a lot of ups and downs in the company, and right now we are over 100 people.
That's great. That's great. Like talking about that, I think your journey of self-healing and journey of managing stammering started from SHG, a self-help group
Yeah,
in USA. So
absolutely.
that's, yeah, I mean that's really wonderful to hear, because we also in TISA have a lot of SHGs in different part of India, and I I mean who the people who haven't joined SHGs here should definitely join SHGs, because the comfort and the people you meet there, they have very broad perspective about stammering and different things in general, and you learn a lot in offline SHGs. So that's great to hear, Jay,
Yeah.
and like talking about your marriage, like I mean I'm sure Miss Vasdewani saw something like love knows no bounds. Like love is above all these problems and all of this. So that's great to hear. That's great. So like again, like if when you started your company, there must be times when there would be clients in front of you would have faced clients and stuff, clients, and basically you had to pitch ideas and pitch your side of what you will bring to the table and all of that. So was there any like any downs that you faced, and how you managed those downs with respect to your stammering and your confidence and everything like that?
Yeah, see, while building my business, I was the person who was doing the sales and everything. And it's a small, like you start with small company, you don't have a team, right? So I was
Hmm.
doing sales talk and talking to the customers, etc. And I mean, we were doing it back then there was no Zoom, but even that time there was Skype, and then we used to like do voice calls, and I got really comfortable in one-to-one environment. I mean, I was not very if it was a bigger like there are many people, then I would get very nervous. But
Hmm.
again, my teaching that I had from playing sports, I mean, you should never give up. Keep trying. This is what I have applied in every situation.
like not lose hope.
Yeah, not lose hope.
Exactly. That's great. That's great to hear. So like that you just mentioned that you have a team of 100 plus employees right now working at Latitude Technolabs. So I'm sure in the span of these 15 years of you having your own company, you would have taken a lot of interviews and maybe given a lot of interviews in front of clients and like that. So let's talk a little about interviews in general and as a stammerer and as a person who is a fresher and giving interviews, because as you see in India we don't really teach our children or students how to face a panel, how to face a group, and what all should be taken in consideration while you are giving interviews and facing a panel. So you have a lot of experience in this domain. So I would like to ask you some questions about related to interviews.
Sure.
So uh, what, as an interviewer, what do you see in an interviewee? Something common. Not, I'm not talking about stammering in general, but as an interviewee, what does an interview want in an interviewee? Uh, like in a first impression, what do you want in an interviewee?
Mhm. Yeah. So see, most important thing is that your resume should be easy to read,
Hmm.
and it should. I mean, I hate resumes with spelling mistakes. I feel like you are that person is lazy,
Hmm.
even even correct some spelling. And nowadays there are so many tools, like, right. So even then, if you do not correct those mistakes, that's, I mean, you are a lazy person. That's a big negative for me. And then most important thing I would see is when I ask, like, tell me more about yourself. If that person has a tells me about himself, what he has done, his experience, his education, then I know that he is prepared for his interview. Because there are people, I mean, uh, what I have read is 90% of people in this world are introverts. 90%. Like even fluent people, even, I mean, people are introverts. Even in the interview, they don't open up. Like you
Definitely.
said, like you said, in our education system that doesn't focus on that. So even if we are talented, I would say we are more talented than American counterpart. But because that American has communication skills, it does better than you. That's the
True.
only difference, because I have seen both the sides.
I also feel that if you meet a foreigner who has come to India, you will see that he looks people in eyes and smile, and matlab, and not and Indians don't even look each other in the eyes. And because I mean, I don't know, maybe they are scared that he will ask me something, he she will ask me
Yeah,
something, or
I, I think we have an inferior complex. Like it has been, we were uh, we were slaves for a long time, so that inferior complex is there. But I guess things are improving. I do see young generations now focusing on soft skills. Many schools are also focusing on soft skills. So there is a lot of improvement. So going back to your question about interview, so that is where I start, and then my questions will be mostly based on his resumes, what projects he has done, and based on the answers, follow-up questions will be there. So you should know your resumes, because I'll give you one example, a funny example. There was a person who came for an interview. He had written a lot of things in his resume, and I could make out that he has used ChatGPT. And then I asked him, you have written this in your resume. Can you explain what exactly you did here? So he said, oh, I don't know. So he didn't have the answer. So at least I mean, the best thing you do is you should read your resume, because most interviews will ask questions from resume itself.
True.
And they will also ask about, and also you should know the job role, the job description that they have. You should, when HR is scheduling the call, you should ask them what will be my role, what's sort of team environment. So you should have all the information. That will make things easier for you to answer according to your role.
True, true. And like talking about Chat GPT, I think Chat GPT, if used in the right way, it is very helpful. Like if you know what you have to say and if you want it to be in a better way, formed in a better way, then of course Chat GPT, you like it is like at the end it is a helpful tool. But if you are copying just like
Yeah, yeah,
like if you don't know anything that you have copied from ChatGPT, that is
yeah.
and you can't use that in front of a tech CEO who has been in the industry for 15 years. Nice.
I mean, like there's a saying, "Nakal mein bhi akal honi chahiye." So that you should use some brain.
True, true,
There's
true.
nothing wrong in using ChatGPT. I
Hmm,
use it. I even encourage my people to use it. There's nothing wrong in that. But
hmm.
should use it right way.
True, true, true. And like uh so like yeah, resume should be by like should be on your fingertips, right? uh
Absolutely.
hmm, got it. And like I think people should really focus ki what do they bring to the table in front of the interviewer. They should have their answers formed in a way that how they are helpful for the organization. I like
Yeah. So
from
yeah,
my experience I have seen this.
yeah. So like what you said is very important. I mean, especially for stammerers. I mean, they should prepare. There is nothing wrong in preparing. Don't go without any preparation. Write down answers on the piece of paper. Practice
Mhm.
them. So
Definitely, definitely.
it will help you. I mean, you can even start your interview by saying that, sorry, I'm a stammerer. I might need more time to give my answers. So that
Hmm.
is saying that will help you more than the other person, because the pressure is off, right?
Exactly, exactly.
I would I would recommend every stammerer to do that. It's not easy,
Like
but once you do that, you'll feel more relaxed. And when we are relaxed, we tend to be more fluent.
I mean, I think it's not about the fluency. It's about whatever your ideas and whatever your knowledge is, how you convey it, and by that I mean by writing or by making a chart or by anything, any means. If you are able to explain what you are saying to that person, is what that matters. It isn't about how you are like fluency. You don't always have to be have to be fluent with your answers and like everything. Think outside the box. Like in my case, when I was in my placements 1 year back, 2 years back, uh, like you said that it is tough to mention in front of the interviewer that you stammer and all of that. So what I did was I had a couple of projects that were related to stammering.
Yeah.
And yeah, and in my hobbies I had mentioned that I have a podcast, uh, the Fluent Stutter. So in those things made the interviewer very inquisitive about it too. And also, once, yeah, and and it is a conversation starter too. And it shows that you aren't afraid to show your stammering in front of people, and for you it isn't a problem. It
Yeah.
is something like an accent you use, like people use different accent.
Sure.
So you have to think outside of the box to make that person understand what you are going through, and that it is not a negative thing that you have.
Yes, yes, yes. Sure. Yeah.
Hmm, great.
I,
So yeah.
I think if what you can do is you can mention that you are a volunteer of TISA. Maybe they'll
Hmm,
ask you
hmm, hmm,
TISA, and that's
hmm.
where you can do it.
Exactly, exactly. So these all things you have to, like, you can mention it in your in your resume, and like all of this. Uh, moving on, moving on. So like uh, so so when an interviewer asked, you have stammered in your interview, and the interviewer asked that you stammer, and will that be a problem between your work and you? So like, how should a stammerer handle that situation? How uh, what all answers, what all body language should he portray, so that he or she makes the interviewer believe in those 20 to 25 minutes that it isn't a problem, it is just how I speak, that's it.
Right. Yeah. So I would say that I mean if you already are an experienced person, you have the resume and you have you have worked in other companies, so you can always say there was no issues in the work I did already, and I you can look at my work, don't look at my speech. So that's how you should be telling that, and like if you give me opportunity, I will be I will try my best to be more fluent. I mean, see, what I feel is more you are exposed. It's called exposed therapy. I mean, more you expose yourself to different challenges, better you will get. So you can tell them that you are ready to get ready to accept the challenge. And if you are a fresher, then I guess you can say, I mean, in my college, I didn't have any issues. I have a lot of friends, etc. And all I'm looking for is an opportunity, and and you can try to tell them you have leadership qualities somewhere. I mean, that
Hmm.
helps.
That definitely helps, true. uh, so like uh, recently I was talking to a stammerer, fellow stammerer. He isn't he At that time he wasn't part of TISA, and he shared his experience that he was selected for CRPF, and during his medical, he the doctor said that because of your stammering, you are not selected, and he was very depressed because of that. He said that मुझे सब, like, I know everything. I cleared all the tests, I cleared all the exams, but if at the end an interview will be there, then how can I succeed in life in general? So, like, do you have anything for him if he is watching the podcast right now?
So I would again say don't give up. I mean, if you failed in CRPF, there are other opportunities. Since you went to the last stage, I guess he went to the last stage, right? The medical
Yes.
exams. So I mean, there is a lot of potential for him to explore. There, I mean, it's not the end of the world, right? You should. I mean, nowadays there are more opportunities than what we had back then. So you should at look at it in a positive way, learn from it, and you use that experience for the next opportunity.
Thank you. Thank you, Jaisa. Moving on. Uh, so, so like talking about confidence during interviews, it is not just a stammering, not a stammerer's problem, but in general, uh, people lack confidence during interviews and on big stages. So there's this way of handling it, and that is fake it till you make it. Fake your confidence,
Yeah.
and one day you will be confident enough to that it comes naturally. So is this the right approach, or so does it help, or is it encouraged by you? What's your take on that?
Uh, See, why do they say fake it till you make it? Fake it means you start with something, like you may not have that leadership quality or whatever is at that moment, but
Hmm.
you are willing to try. You're
Hmm.
willing to go to the next step. You're willing to accept the challenge. So that strategy should work if you are willing to do the work yourself.
Hmm.
I mean, see, this, if you want to become fluent than what you are, you have to practice, right? Most stammerers, after 2 months they will stop, and then they will be back to where they were. I have done the same thing. So see, let's say if you are singer, they have to do riyaz every day. So for us, practicing is our riyaz, so you should do it, right? And that's how you fake it, and then you'll make it. I mean,
Exactly. And
it works.
like in here, like also a thing comes, that law of attraction. Like when you think about it, when you try it out on your own, maybe by hook and crook, you are doing it. So day by day, it actually gets to be a part of you, and one day it just naturally comes to you, and you don't have to force it on yourself. Talking about the confidence here.
Mhm.
So I think this is also a thing that comes in fake it till you make it
Uh,
mentality.
Absolutely, yeah.
True. So I saw that on your like on a TISA group, whenever you have a position open for some software engineer or someone like an internship opportunity, you post it on a TISA group. So like I wanted to ask you, what positive things do you see in a stammerer that makes you work with them in in a a corporate environment, in a work culture? So why do you have a preference, if you would say, why do you have a preference to give stammerers opportunities?
Well, to be honest, I do not have preference to give them the opportunity, but I
Hmm.
have the opportunity. They are also willing to try. I mean, they should be given the opportunity.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
Try. I'm not doing it from my end. It's an opportunity for everybody. So why not stemmerers,
Okay.
right? Yeah,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
yeah. So I see internships could be the great way to start your career. And that's how, like, before my first job in USA, I for 3 months I couldn't find a job. So I told my professor, he was doing research. I told him that I want to work with you. So he said, I don't have money. I said, I don't want money. I want to work.
Hmm.
So I started working for free. And in 2 months, he saw me working and he saw me that I was working uh, uh, another shift, night shift for my other job. So he saw me, I was working hard, and that's where he gave me a job in 2 months. He said, I for you, I found money. So so
That's great.
that's a great way to start your career. If you see any internship opportunities, see if you can uh, see if you can be a right fit and see what you can learn. See, as a fresher, your focus should not be on money. It should be more on learning because I
Like,
there are a lot of people nowadays, young people, they always, oh, I'm looking for X amount of money and job. I always advise them, first look at the job that you are going into. Will you learn there?
hmm,
Your
true. Matlab,
first two
these
years,
days,
first 2 years, don't think about salary. Think about learning.
exactly, exactly. Like these days, people really look down upon unpaid internships and less packages, and they are like, we are slaves right now. That's what they think about themselves
No,
if
see,
during the fresher years.
what I tell them is, if you acquire the skills, it, your salary will automatically catch up to your skills.
True.
If you are an asset to a company, they will be offering you a salary that you deserve. There's no way around that.
Definitely,
You have to be
definitely.
an asset first.
True. So, yeah, I mean, these were some of the questions I had, and it was great, great
Yeah,
answers that you gave.
I want to ask questions to everyone. Personally, as a stammerer, my mind always thinks a lot. I mean, there are a lot of thoughts going on. So in that process, somehow you become a very poor listener. You don't listen. You listen one line, and you try your mind. Your brain is already looking for answers instead of finishing what they are listening. So in that process, I have become a very poor listener, which I am trying to improve. Does anybody else has that same issue?
Yeah, Dheeraj has raised his hand. And this is now a
Am I
open
audible?
forum. Yes, yes, Dheeraj. Let me just give a quick announcement. Now, this is an open forum. If anyone has any questions to Jay sir, feel free to ask. Please raise your hand, and one by one we can take questions. Over to you, Dheeraj.
Uh, okay. So, sir, being a stammerer, I was a great listener because I used to listen more. But when I started working in a company, then I have to speak, and I make a habit to speak. But being a stammerer, I was always a good listener. And like for you, I have a advice that meditation might help because it will calm our mind and it will let the other person thoughts complete until before we speak.
Okay, sure. Thank you. So I am looks like I am the odd one out.
No, sir. Actually, it was a problem for me too, actually. During these meetings in TISA only, lounge meetings and stuff. I have been part of TISA for 4 years, and during my initial days, I used to focus on what I have to speak, and whatever is coming to me to my ears, I just used to listen from one and get the it out of my ears from the second ear. But with time, I started listening to. and like with time, with these lounge meetings and stuff, so I also became a good listener too.
Yeah, sure. That's good.
Yeah, Harun has raised his hand.
Thank you, Jay sir. Welcome to
Hello.
our launch session. My name is Harun Rashid. I live in Lahore city. I am from Pakistan, and I am connecting with TISA almost 1 year. And I want to answer your question, how we could focus in our present whenever we are feeling lots of thoughts in our mind and we are unable to think or we lose our focus. I want to say about this scenario. If we focus on our breath, we can be live in our present, and with that we can do a short or simple exercise. We can listen the sounds in the current scenario. If we are sitting in a room, we can feel the sound of something like fan, AC, or the persons which are sitting beside us. We can touch the things that like we are sitting on a chair. So doing these few simple steps, we can live in the present, and the mind which is constantly thinking for the different things, and we can stop his processing, and then we can live in the present. So these are the few exercises or tips, and after adopting these steps, we are able to live in the present. I have a one question for you: how we can improve our skills while we decoding the interviews with our stammering? What do you think about it? Thank you.
Uh, Hi, Harun. Thank you for joining, and I do remember that you are one of the active members. You also, I guess, host few lounge meetings. So thank you so much for doing the volunteering work. It's good. It's very nice of you. And if I understand your question, that you want to know how can you acquire skills for interview, right?
हाँ जी
So
हाँ जी हाँ
for
जी
that,
जरूर हाँ जी हाँ जी
what I would recommend is do practice of interviews. I am willing to, like I already posted on the Telegram group that anybody who wants to do mock interviews with me, I can help. So you do try to do a lot of mock interviews. Try to write down the questions that interview will ask. So you practice, because that is our weapon to practice, right? Practice first, so you are ready for the answers. Okay. I hope I answered your questions. Thank you.
Yeah, Kushag,
Yes,
Kushag,
hi.
Hi,
yes.
Kushal.
Hi, sir. Yes, sir. Um, Thank you for sharing your story in this podcast. I just had a general question. As a person who stammer, I tend to think that I sometimes set some higher expectations uh, at my workplace uh, on uh, on myself. So I was just curious to know that like okay, once those higher expectations are not met, how should I like how should I handle that situation so I don't feel bad like when I stammer in front of my boss or in front of my like work colleagues. So like how should I approach this thing? So I was just curious to know. Yeah.
Yeah, hi, Kushagar. Uh, is the expectation set by yourself or by your boss? Are you trying to
Sir,
boss's
it's
expectation or
it's
yours?
yes. Sir, so the expectation is um, uh, mostly set by my by my own self. So like for example, I know sometimes that at my workplace I can be like a bit more proactive, and I can also take part in some projects. But when I try to like present those ideas, and I try to approach that problem, I think I stay a bit hesitant. Probably like due to my own stammering. So I was just curious to know, like, if I have set higher expectations by my own self, and after a while, if those expectations are not met at my workplace, so like, how should I a- approach this environment at my workplace, uh, where I have to be a bit more competitive? Yeah. So
So I would see everybody has expectations. Expectation is part of life, right? Everybody has having expectation is nothing wrong. At the same time, it's not
mhm.
for only stammerers. Even for normal people, they have expectations and they also fail. So you should. I mean, failure is nothing but you can you learn something from it, right? So
Yes,
you
sir.
don't put a lot of pressure on yourself. Follow the process. I mean, if you have to talk to your boss about something that you have in mind, go and talk. I mean, I'm pretty sure your boss doesn't care about your stammering. He wants to listen what you have in mind. So you can, if, before talking to your boss, you can practice with your friends or TISA. So I mean, there is nothing wrong in expecting things, but at the same time, you should know that not every expectations you will be able to achieve. You just have to keep trying. Like Indian team, they expected to win World Cup 50, but they didn't win. But they again got opportunity, they won, right?
Yes, sir.
So just keep trying. I mean, nothing to worry about, nothing to lose hope. Keep the faith.
Okay, sir. Uh, Thank you for your answer, sir. Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you, Kushagra. That was a great answer to a very great question. Uh, I would like to have Dheeraj. Dheeraj, if you have any question.
Yes, Yatharth. So, sir, this question is bit different from stammering. I have opportunity to come USA next year, so I don't have I don't know. Should I go there? Uh, what minimum package you can say that, yeah, this package can survive. This package with a software engineer can survive in USA because you are staying there. And what benefits will I get if I relocate from India to USA? So can you guide me on
Okay. So
this
you said
area?
next year, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So which city are you planning to relocate in US?
Uh, my brother stays in Los Angeles, near to that.
Okay. So that is a very expensive area. So your salary would be higher compared to other states, areas of USA. So your package should depend on where you are living, right? If you live in other smaller places, your expense will be lower. So I would recommend that you find out like what will be your rent if you live with a roommate. What will be your rent plus your transportation expense, your grocery expense, and to be honest with you, USA is manageable place to live. You can manage with the salary, but best thing is that you will learn a lot. You are into a different culture, right? In like Los Angeles has a lot of different people from different countries. There are Mexicans, there are people from China, etc. So you will be exposed to that environment. That is the best learning you can get. Okay, but find
So
out.
currently, like,
Sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
yeah, sorry, yeah, please complete.
So just find out
Sorry, sir.
the current packages there and see the average, and then you can ask for that.
So, like, currently I am confused. Should I accept this and work toward it or not? Because I am not getting that major points which I can consider to relocate. So, will it be change, like big change, if some person come to USA or work there? Like, what will be the impact on career-wise?
See,
And what are
that's a good.
your experiences?
See, right now people are paying money to go to USA. So if you have an opportunity, I would like you can write down pros and cons, and if you see there are a lot of more pros than cons, I just you should definitely try out. Like you can try out. It will help
Okay,
you. It will help you in your career.
okay, okay. Thank you, sir.
No problem.
Sir, Jay sir, I wanted to ask you what is the visa situation for Indians right now for USA, if you have any idea about it.
Right now, for visitor visa, there were 1 year waiting period. So but for H1Bs, I think there is a fixed quota every year. So you have to be
Hmm.
to apply as soon as it opens up.
And I think it is on it is a it is a lottery based system, right? It is not.
For H1B, I think
Yeah.
so, yeah.
Hmm. Okay.
But it helps if you are already in US, so you will get the H1 easily.
Okay. Okay. Got it. Yeah. Harun, do you have any question?
Yes, I have another question. How
Yes.
we can maintain a non-judgmental approach in decoding the stammering, because we as a PWS, when we speak in general public or more than 2 to 3 people, we have a thought in our mind that these people are judging me. So how we can make a non-judgmental approach in these scenarios?
I would say that you expose yourself more to that scenario. If you keep exposing more in those challenging situations, you will your own uh, judgment will go away. I mean, you will start to feel that nobody, like you are the only person who's thinking about it. The other person doesn't even care. He like I had a lot of friends. I still have. So I don't know any of my friend never ever judged me on this. And it's our own thought, right? I still have a feeling that they will judge if I am in a bigger room. I know I still have that feeling. That feeling doesn't go away completely, but you can practice. You can expose yourself to different situations. You will get better at it.
Thank you, Harun. Uh, yeah. If anyone else has any question, then feel free to ask. Else, we will wrap up. It was a great meeting.
Thank
It was
you.
a great conversation with Jay sir, and I am sure we all learned a lot from tonight's conversation. Uh, yeah. If
Yeah,
anyone else, yeah,
you so much.
sir.
Yeah. Thank you so much for inviting me. And personally, I really, it was a challenge for me. This was my first podcast, and I wasn't even prepared. So it was again, I was exposing myself to a very unknown environment. So it was a challenge for me. So thank you for providing me that opportunity.
So it was a first for the host too and for the guest
Okay.
too. So it,
No, but you
it
look like a pro host.
thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Uh, so yeah, thank you, and we will we will see you all in the next episode of the Fluent Stutter. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have
Thank
a
you.
great evening.
Bye.